Pat, I've been looking around, but I still haven't found a solid answer on my question. How did you acquire the gold NWC?
With lots of cash. All right, this is what happened. The story's online about how I got the gray NWC cart. It came into Luna Video Games when these had their location on Voltaire Street in Ocean Beach. I purchased it. I wrote an article about it. The article appeared on my favorite website, Nintendo Age, where they don't physically threaten me with violence ever on that forum. They never do that.
Nope.
And then it also appeared on my website. So a guy who was one of the original 26 owners of the gold NWC cart via the contest they had in Nintendo Power, I believe that was late 1990. He, one day at work, Googled himself, his full name, and a forum post came up, like an old forum post from like Usenet. Remember Usenet?
Yeah.
You know.
I still use it for pinball stuff.
Of course you do. Rec.pinball.discussion or whatever. And so his name came up saying, well, this is one of the people that had this game that's worth like $10,000, you know, at the time, whenever that post was, probably from like 2006 or 7.
Sure.
So he forgot he had it as a kid. He totally forgot. So he goes to his mom, and they had moved multiple times.
Right.
Multiple times. Over the years, state to state. He goes, hey, Mom, where do we still have my Nintendo and games from when I was a kid? She said, no, we threw them out. He was like, shit. But the mom looked, and alas, somehow they survived moves over multiple states. And he still had his games. The gold NWC cart was still there. He later told me he had maybe played it once, said, this is stupid, and threw it in the shoebox, and that was it. Because it's not a full game. So he Googled his name. Then he Googled, I guess, NWC carts, and my article came up. And so he emails me saying, hey, I own this cart. How do I sell this? I know it goes for a lot of money. How do I sell this? What do I do with it? So I figured, you know, at the time I had the gray one. I had no intention of getting a gold one. I did not have the spare cash for it. I honestly didn't. I barely had the spare cash for the gray one. When I first moved here, I spent money moving here. I had my place redone, the floors rolled in. I didn't have a lot of spare money. I like having a cushion of money. I don't like living check to check. So I said, okay, you can sell it on eBay. I gave him the rundown. You can deal with assholes, though, people running up your bids that aren't going to pay for it, blah, 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 blah. You can sell it on forums like Nintendo Age because the people there, they have the money to spend. You'll get attention. You can go on video game auction websites and tell them about it for publicity. And this is like a 2-week back and forth. I didn't want to think he was messing with me, so I actually he didn't open the game up. He sent me like 8 or 9 pictures of the carts, and I knew they were original pictures. I had not seen them before, and I could tell looking at even the dip switches, this was real.
Right.
This was actually real. So it got to the point where I was like, you know what the fuck? Why don't I make an offer on it? What's the worst that can happen? Maybe I can get a deal. So it was about a week back and forth of numbers, and we made a deal. And it was literally me flying to an airport to meet this individual for 3 days. I literally booked my flight for like getting there like 1 in the afternoon and coming back at like 5 at night. Meeting the person, giving him a bank check, verifying that it was real, having a nice lunch. He was nice enough to pay for the lunch, which was nice. Getting the cart, getting back on the plane, coming home. A lot of, just say, tons of money less rich.
Yeah.
Poorer. I was poor. I was a lot poorer after buying this.
You were more poor.
I was much more poorer after buying this game. So that's the story. And because of that, I guess I'm insane. There's only, I think, like 2 or 3 people that own one of each.